Welcome to Accountant Basic Skill channel. Today I will teach you income from house property and other sources, that is part 2. I am covering this time two assessment year, assessment 2021 and assessment 21-22. That means two assessment year I am covering in this lecture. So let's start it. First is income from house property. Now what is the intention of government to create a separate income tax head in income tax computation? Because government want to tax in a separate head, so that and they want to restrict the different type of expenses. Only they have given selected deduction of expense, that is municipal tax and 30% of annual value they have given deduction, and interest on housing loan or any laid out property. Only selected deduction they have given. So let's begin it. Now first is income from vacant land. It will be taxable in income from other sources and or profits and gains of business and profession. I'm saying it's a vacant land. It's not a house property. It's a vacant land. Okay, then it will be taxable in income from other sources or profits and gains from business or profession. Next is if assessee is engaged in the business of letting out properties and land, then it will be taxable as a business income because it's a business. If the property held as a stock in trade, especially this is clause applicable for builder or developer, okay, then it will be chargeable under that income from house property. Next one, annual value of let out property. How it is calculated? They have given specific procedure. And why this annual value of let out property is given, friends? uh, Landlords are using different type of techniques. They are showing less rent income in agreement, that is check for amount collected in the form of check, and balance portion they are collecting by of cash. To avoid this practice, government has introduced annual value of let out property, means how much rent is eligible for that property. Okay, they have given formulas also. Based on the formula, annual value of the property will be calculated. And if landlord says that this is my rent, this is not acceptable, as per the calculation procedure, rent will be considered of the whole financial year. If there is a vacant property, then deduction will be allowed, but entire financial year rent will be calculated. Now what is the formula? Higher of fair rent versus municipal value. Fair rent means the fair rent eligible of similar property in that area, and municipal value means as per municipal valuation there is a separate rate calculation is available as per the municipal value. Okay, next, second formula, lower of standard rate versus above rent. Okay, means in the first formula you will consider higher of fair rent versus municipal value. In second case you will consider standard rent versus above rent, above high rent, and in both the calculation you will consider the lower rent. Now what is the meaning of standard rent? Standard rent, as per the Rent Regulation Act, there is a standard rent is applicable. Okay, and third criteria is if the actual rent is greater than above rent, then that will be gross annual value. Second thing, if actual rent is less than the above rent excluding vacancy, then this will be gross annual value. Okay, next is co-owner. In the case of co-owner, income of let out property apportioned among us each co-owner as per their specific share. Whatever share as per their agreement, the rent portion will be allocated. Okay, clear? Okay. Next one is annual value of self-occupied property. An assessee can claim benefit of nil annual value in respect of one or two residential property which is self-occupied by him. Uh, in one or two means maximum two properties he can consider as a self-occupied property. Next one is annual value of deemed to be let out. Deemed to be let out means even if properties is not let out, even if you are not given on rent, still will be considered deemed to be let out. Okay, now what is the formula? If more than two properties, if more than two properties are so self-occupied or unoccupied, the assessee may claim benefit of nil annual value in respect of any two properties. Suppose an assessee or owner of 3 properties. Then maximum 2 property will be considered as a self-occupied property and one will be considered as a deemed to be let out. Means rent will be calculated of the third property and it will be taxable in income from house property. Next one is annual value where the property held as a stock in trade. This provision is applicable specifically for builder. Okay. Now how it is calculated? Where the property consists of any building, land, aparted thereto is held as a stock in trade and the whole of or any part of the property is not let out during the whole or any part of the previous year, the annual value of such property or part of the property for the period up to 2 years from the end of the financial year in which certificate of completion of construction of properties obtained from the company shall be taken as nil. I have given an example. Suppose as on 31st August 2020, certificate of completion received from the local authority or BMC, okay, and financial year ends on 31st March 2021. That means 2 financial year, next 2 financial year annual value considered as a nil, means financial year 21-22 and financial 22-23. Okay, 2 year no rent, but after 2 years rent will be chargeable. Okay, now what is the deduction allowable in from the annual value? They have given specified 30% of annual value deduction is eligible. Next is interest on borrowed capital. Okay, now there in this category interest on borrowed capital there are three types. One is interest taken before 1499 and after 1499, then pre-construction interest, and in the case of laid out property there is no limit for interest on capital. Okay, there is no limit on interest on capital, they can claim entire as a deduction. Okay, let's start it. Interest on borrowed capital, interest payable on loans borrowed for the purpose of acquisition, construction, repairs, renewals or reconstruction. Okay, please read carefully. Acquisition, construction, repairs, renewal or reconstruction. In the case of pre-construction, pre-construction means construction is not completed, you have not taken the possession of the property, then the interest portion prior to the construction or prior to the possession will be accumulated and after receipt of possession of the property, then in 5 equal installment you are eligible as a deduction. Okay, just read it. Interest for the period prior to the previous year in which property is acquired or construction completed, pre-construction interest is allowable deduction in 5 equal installment from the previous year of completion of construction of previous year of completion of construction of acquisition. In 5 equal installment you will be eligible for deduction. Next, loan taken before 1499. Now what is the provision? If loan taken in the case of loan for acquisition or construction rate prior to 1499 or loan taken for repair, renovation, reconstruction, just is the separate terminology is there. At any point of time, aggregate interest paid or payable or one or two self-acquired subject to maximum 30,000, including a portion of pre-construction. Means they have given limit 30,000 for loan taken before 1499. Loan taken before 149. Okay, this is an old provision. Based on the present scenario, 30,000 is not sufficient, so government has introduced new provision, loan taken on or after 1499. Okay, in this case they have increased the limit of deduction also from 30,000 to 2 lakh rupees. Okay, interest on loan taken or acquisition for 1499 where the such construction completed within 5 years from the end of the financial in which capital was borrowed, the aggregate interest paid payable or one or two self subject to maximum 2 lakh rupees. Okay, including the apportionment of pre-construction period. Okay, same applicable to co-owners also. Okay, please note that total amount of interest deduction under section E and sorry, D and E will be maximum of 2 lakh rupees only. Okay, It's wrongly written E and F. Actually, it's a D and E. So maximum deduction is 2 lakh rupees. Inadmissible deduction. Now, what is inadmissible deduction? If interest chargeable under this act, which is payable outside India, shall not be deducted if tax is not deducted, and no agent in India, means you have taken any housing loan after 1499 and you have paid interest outside India without deducting TDS, and there is no agent in India, then you will not eligible deduction in income from house property. Okay. Now, what is the amendment in assessment year 21-22? In new tax structure, deduction of interest up to rupees 2 lakh not allowable under section 24B in respect of self-occupied property. In new tax structure, if SSC has selected new tax structure, then you will 2 lakh deduction will be forgotten. Okay, you have to forward that 2 lakh deduction. If SSC select old tax structure, then about deduction is allowable. Okay. In the case of let out property, means the person who are person who was occupied so many properties, okay, for rental purpose, this provision is applicable. Let out property, whole of the amount of interest on borrowed capital payable during the previous year and apportioned pre-construction without any ceiling limit will be allowed as a deductions. Okay. In this case, there is no concept of self-occupied property. There is a let out property is there. Okay. Next one is unrealized rent or arrears of rent received. Okay. Then taxable in the year of receipt or realization even if no owner. Please note that taxable in the year of receipt or realization even if no owner, and deduction at the rate of 30% of rent received or realized. Okay, clear? Next one, deemed ownership. Now, what is the meaning of deemed ownership? Sometimes as I said that I am not the owner of the property, then why should charge me deemed to be let out rent? So government has amended the provision. Okay. Now, what is the amended provision? The following person through not legal owner of the property, again repeating, the following person though not legal owner of the property are deemed to be owners. Okay. Now, which are the owners? Transfer of the property where the property is transferred to the spouse or a minor child except minor married daughter. Okay. Without adequate consideration, holder of an impartible estate, member of cooperative person, person in possession of property, person having right in a property for a period of not less than 12 years. Friends, intention of the government is that there are so many different types in which rent will not be taxable. So government has amended the provision and they have declared that even if you are not owner of the property but you have the rights of possession, then it will be considered deemed to be owner. Okay. Next one, income from other sources. This is the residual head. I'm saying residual head. Head means what? If income is not taxable in income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gains, then income will be taxable in this head. Okay, clear? It's a residuary head. Residual. Okay. Let's read it. Income from other sources. Where any income from profit or gains, including in the total income of an asset, cannot be included in any of other head, it will be chargeable under this head. Okay. Now, what are the income taxable? Dividend income. Next one, casual income. Now, what is the meaning of casual income? Sorry. Winning from lotteries, crosswords, puzzles, race, including horse, card games, other games, gambling, betting. Then straightway tax is 30% plus surcharge plus the education. Okay, with no expenditure deduction under chapter 6. Straightway. That means you have to pay straightway 30% means if you are issued any income from lotteries, suppose if you are issued 100 rupees income, 30% you have to pay to the government plus surcharge plus education cess. Okay, means 70 rupees your net income. No loss can be set off against such income. Exhausted or non-exhausted basic exemption bit cannot be exhausted against such income, means you will not eligible any basic exemption in. Okay, next one is money or property received by a person. Friends, why this provision is introduced by the government? Because SSC using so many different type of technique to avoid the tax liability. Okay, to avoid the tax liability. Okay, now what is this provision? Without consideration means there is no relation, there is no any transaction, and they have paid money. Okay, means one SSC paid money to another SSC without any consideration, without any agreement. Just normally he has given money 1 lakh rupees. Please take it 1 lakh rupees. Now, since there is no contract between the two SSC, there is no reason for payment of 1 lakh rupees. Then government has introduced this provision. If amount is issued without consideration to SSC, in amount paid without consideration to SSC, okay, if amount exceed above 50,000, then whole amount will be taxable. Up to 50,000, no amount will be taxable. But amount exceed 50,000, suppose for example amount is 1 lakh 50,000, then whole 1 lakh 50,000 is taxable. Okay, in the case of fair market value of movable or immovable property, yes, government has introduced this provision also. Many friends are many assessees are to avoid tax liability, they are giving their own immovable or movable property to their friends without any consideration, and there is no tax there is and the transaction is done without any consideration and no tax paid to the government. Okay, to avoid such type of issue, government has introduced these provisions. If the amount paid without consideration and it's exceed above 50,000, then it will be taxable in the hands of the SSC. And fair market value of movable or immovable property. Movable means you can transfer from one area to another area, and immovable means fixed, means for example flat. Okay, and the property value exceed 50,000, then it will be taxable in the hands of SSC. Okay, inadequate consideration means consideration is inadequate, means suppose 1 lakh is the consideration amount, but as per income tax point of view, consideration is 1 lakh 70,000. Okay, means it's a loss to the government because there is no tax payable on 70,000. Okay, that means it's an inadequate consideration. The formula the government has given in the case of movable property, the difference between the aggregate fair market value and the consideration, if it is exceed rupees 50,000, then it will be taxable in the hands of SSC. In the case of immobile property, difference between stamp duty value and the consideration and it's exceed 50,000, it will be taxable in the hands of SSC. Okay, means government main intention of the government is that without consideration or with consideration, above 50,000 value exceed, then it will be taxable in the hands of SSC. Receipt not taxable. Receipt not taxable. Okay, this is most important provision. Friends, please carefully read and understand the provision. Okay, if you not understand, then again listen the YouTube video, then you can understand the concept. Okay, I will read it. Any sum money or money value of property received from any relative or on the occasion of marriage of the individual, then it will not be taxable in the hands of SSC. Under a will of by of inheritance, means any will of the grandfather, any property received to the assessee, then it will not be taxable in the hands of assessee. In connection contemplation of the death of the payer or donor, okay, as the case may be, or any local authority, or from any fund or university or the educational institution or hospital or medical institution or any trust or institution, or from any, or from by any registered trust institution, by any fund trust for institution, any university, other educational institution, or any hospital or other medical institution, by of transaction not regarded transaction under section 47 that is in capital gain from an individual by trust created for established solely for the benefit of the relative of the individual from such class of person and subject to such condition as the case may be, that is receipt not taxable. This is a most important provision. Okay, to avoid tax liability, um, so many person are using this type of tactics. Okay, other receipt taxable. Now what is other receipt taxable? Share issued at a premium in excess of fair market value of shares to residents. Friends, these are the different type of tax saving techniques. Okay, if the fair market value of share is 17 rupees, 17, and if you are issuing shares with share premium of rupees 25, okay, how much fair market value? 17. How much share issued at a premium? 25 rupees. Okay, that means difference will be taxable in the hands of assessee. Okay, interest received on compensation or enhanced compensation, it will taxable. Third most important provision, friends, uh, in the case of immobile property or movable property, before execution of agreement, any advance money paid to the seller. Okay, and what happened, uh, the transaction is cancelled subsequently because of some technical issues. Now as per the agreement, amount is not refundable to buyer, then it will be, then what, whether this amount received to the seller will be taxable? As per this provision, it will be taxable. Means any advance or any sum received for the cancellation or transfer of capital asset deal, then it will taxable in the hands of seller, that is assessee. Compensation for termination of its employment or the modification of terms and condition related to its taxable. In the case of, generally in the case of managing director appointment, if the terms and condition amended and any additional compensation given to the managing director, then it will be taxable in other sources, not in income from salary. Please note that it will be taxable in income from other sources. Deduction, most important, commission or remission to banker to another person. Means, for suppose if you are invested in shares, by your taking loan, by your taken loan from bank or from any friends, then commission or remuneration to banker to another person allowed as a deduction. Income consists of recovery from employees or as a contribution to any fund or superannuation fund. Amount of contribution remitted before the due date under the respective acts, means provident fund. Okay, if a provident fund of employee contribution, I am saying employee, it's not deposited on time, then it will be taxably in income from other sources in the hands of company. Correct, in the hands of assessee or in the you can say company. So income from letting on hire of machinery, plant and machinery with or without building, then any current repairs to the machinery, plant and plant, furniture, building insurance, premium depreciation observation. Okay, family pension, how much deduction allowed? One third or 15,000, whichever is less. Interest on compensation, enhanced compensation, 50% of such income is allowed as a deduction. Deduction not allowed. Please note that deduction not allowed. Personal expenses, interest or salary paid without deducting TDS, unreasonable expenditure paid to related person, consider excessive by the officer. Means you have paid expenditure. Okay, suppose expenditure value is 15,000, but you have paid 19,000. Okay, Then unreasonable expenditure will be excused by the it will be taxable in the hands of assessee. Paid cash expenditure about 10,000 otherwise than check, ECS or any electronic mode expenditure, any gambling, winning, uh, or any ga- uh, gambling, betting. 30% of expenditure which means no deduction for any gambling, winning for winning or betting. 30% of expenditure is payable to resident on which TDS not deducted, paid or not paid deposit before the due date of report. Means expenditure 70% allowed at the deduction, 30% is not allowed. Okay. uh, 1 meter. Sorry, sorry. Okay. uh, Deduction not allowed, that I have explained, that is personal expenses, interest on salary paid without deducting today. Next important is as what are the amendments done in assessment 2021 and 2022. In the case of new tax structure, remove deduction of one third of family pension. Okay. They have also amended uh, income from mutual fund taxable in the hands of the unit holders. Okay. Income from mutual funds is taxable in the hands of unit holder, and TDS is also applicable, that is 10%, and from 14 May it's 7.5%. If the income exceeds 5,000. Okay. And TDS at the 20-15% shall be deducted in the case of non-resident unit. Taxability of dividend and income from units. Dividends are now taxable in the hands of shareholder as per the individual slab rate. This is the most important. Individual slab rate, it will be taxable. Companies will no longer to pay dividend distribution tax, and also the interest expense will now be allowed to deduction from the dividend subject to the maximum cap of 20%. Okay. How much maximum cap? 20%. Means suppose if you are invested in share market, okay, by you have taken loan from financial institution, then maximum deduction is 20% is allowed. Okay. They have given a cap because 80% amount will be taxable in the hands of the assessee. Okay. With April 1st April to the Indian company shall eligible to deduct TDS at the 10% under section 190 if the aggregate of the amount dividend exceed 5,000 and dividend is payable to resident at India. Okay. Simple conclusion is income from units and dividend, it will be taxable in the hands of assessee, and payer will deduct TDS if amount is exceed 5,000. Same provision for dividend and units. This is simple language conclusion. I am repeating again. Income from dividend or units will be taxable in the hands of assessee, and if it is exceed above 5,000, then payer will deduct TDS. Okay. And that TDS amount will be eligible for calculation of your tax computation. Okay. Where any person receives any immobile property, this is the most important provision because there is so many debates are there. Okay. Without consideration means there is no agreement, and the property immovable properties transfer. Okay. The stamp duty value shall be included in the total income if that value is more than 50,000. Okay. Now we'll say the what is the amended program. For consideration and stamp duty value is more than the actual sale consideration, then the differential amount shall be included in the total income if the differential amount is or more than means higher of the following. Okay. 50,000 and 10% of actual sale consideration. Earlier it is 5%. Now they have increased the percentage of 10%. Okay, that's it for the assessment amendment of 2021 and 2022. Okay, friends, I hope that you like the lecture. If you like the lecture, please press the bell icon and subscribe my channel. And if you like the lecture, then please forward to your friends also. Okay, thank you.